Hey, welcome back to the channel. So I know I'm starting off with season 2, episode 3. But if you go back and watch the replay of World of Reach, you'll see that we discussed episode 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up on Belle Collective season 2, episode 3. Okay, love, marriage, and no baby carriage. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, okay, I want to welcome you. Please don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you who have been here, y'all already know what to do. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share the video with your people. All right, hold on, y'all. Let me change this real quick. Bam. There we go. There we go. All right, there we go. All right. So now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Okay. So of course we got Marie Monroe still in the bathroom acting a fool. Okay. Which I don't even know why she acting a fool. Like, girl, at the end of the day, I understand you got a lot of stuff going on, Marie, but you just really shouldn't have came. Okay, we should have never ended up with a scene like this. Okay, and there go Essie, you know what I'm saying? Marie's soulmate or whatever. But whatever, I digress. So Letitia go get Latrice and like, please, can you come talk to me? Latrice is like, I ain't got a goddamn thing to say to her. And I'm like, I feel you, Latrice. Like, don't even go in the bathroom and give it to her. But Latrice gonna bring herself up in there and talk to her because Letitia like, please just do it for me. Just this one time. Just this one time. Can you do it for me? Please, can you do it for me? Just this one time. Just this my one favor of the year. And I'd be like, girl, damn you and your favor of the year, because I ain't got time for that. She want a moment and I'm not giving her a moment. Period. And that's how it would have been. That's it. That's all. But of course, we know this is for a TV show, so let's go on ahead and give her what she looking for. So she went ahead and she um went up in there and talked to her. And before she could get two words out, okay, before she could get two words out, baby, when I tell you, Maria's like, nope, she don't want to hear it. She not taking ownership, blah, 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 blah. But your own friend Marie, like, even if you don't trust Latrice, you should trust Letitia enough to know that she is your friend according to what you are saying. And she is like, listen, baby, this girl ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? She went over there to tell them, like, this is going too far, yada, yada, yada. But you still want to be sitting up here tooted and booted and mad. And at this point, Marie, I'm over you with this issue. Don't care about it. Don't want to hear about it no more. It don't need to drag out for the rest of the season. Not even a little bit, okay? Because at this point, you're doing too much. You want to talk about this girl tried to run your business. Meanwhile, you got tuck your ass down there to the first brunch and talk about this the kind of hair you selling and made a fool out of her. Well, made a fool out of yourself, but trying to drag and dog her business and run potential clients. The potential clients and people who were at that table who might have wanted to buy her hair, and people who saw it on TV who gonna stand up for you and your nasty ass attitude like you had going on. Meanwhile, you're still walking around here looking like the Colonel of the KFC commercials. I'm not understanding. But that wasn't you trying to ruin her business though. But now all of a sudden, she trying to run your business. So Latrice, like at this point, I'm over it. Let her think what she wanna think. And I'm like, exactly, Latrice, like don't pay this any more dust, don't pay this any more smoke, don't pay this any more mind. So next thing you know, Marie and what's her name? One second, y'all. Next thing you know, Marie and Letitia in the bathroom talking, and Letitia telling her like, well, not in the bathroom, there in the hallway, and she like, I ain't even do nothing. I was leaving. I ain't make no scene. You leaving in a sense was making a scene. You sitting at that table with all of that. I pass. Give me 30 drinks of water. That was you making a scene. But Latrice, not Latrice, Letitia is still standing up there like, you supposed to be my friend, and you sitting up here and you doing all of this, and she, basically, bam, she leaves and she go crying. I'm sick of all of this. Da 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 da. We supposed to be friends. Yada yada yada. I'm like, girl, I know you lying. I know you lying because this girl ain't your friend. She don't care about you. She ain't trying to be your friend. She has ruined every damn brunch that you have had, Letitia. So I need you to go ahead and know that Marie is only about Marie. If it ain't about Marie and her being the sun, the stars, the moon, and the galaxy, then it ain't about nobody. And Marie know that the only person who care about you like that is Essie. Period. So next thing you know, we see JJ and So Gucci and them go over to Daddy and Latrice property, and JJ, like, all of these woods and stuff, baby, is beautiful. All of this land. I'm like, go on, y'all go ahead. So they ATV in it, four wheeling and slanging the mud and the dirt everywhere. I'm like, yes, y'all go on, have y'all a good old time. Next thing you know, they sitting out, they talking or whatever, and they like, yeah. So this was real cute. And they had fun doing it. And Latrice was saying she didn't want So Gucci to get that impression from the brunch, being that this was her first time and she was a new belle. And she was saying, how when there's negative energy, things just seem to happen. Now, y'all, I just feel like Soja Gucci is gonna be the one for me. Okay, I like her. I like her. She was like, listen, she felt the same way about Akeisha as I felt about Akeisha. Okay, and she was like, if she came in and they wanted to do the business together, then they should have did the business together. She shouldn't have came in and been negative and try to tear it down. And I feel like that's what she did. I feel like she walked up in there with an attitude and her ass on her shoulders, and that's just it. That's all. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me if y'all feel, you know what I'm saying, as if it was something else that could have been done, as if her attitude just wasn't nasty, as if she is not trying to one up every woman at that table, and the only woman who has a platform or anything that can get done is her. I do not like Akeisha. She can go. I hope her husband take her back to New York and they be a garden. Okay, so they sitting there, they having that conversation, and then they talking about having a baby and things like that. And she was saying her husband wants a baby, and we'll get into that later on. I just feel like it needs to be both people ready. You know what I'm saying? Both people need to be ready to make that decision for a marriage. Um, and that's my point. That's my point of view. And I feel like if your partner is telling you that they are not ready, you should respect that. Um, and let that be that. So anyway, next thing you know, they start showing the pictures of Marie's grandson's mother. Now, this is depressing and this is sorry. And I do feel bad for Marie and her family, about that baby losing his mama. Okay, I feel sorry about that, and I'm not going to say that. And I have nothing negative to say about that. Marie is laying at home, and of course, y'all know her soulmate got to go check on her, which is cool. Check on your friends in their time of trouble and in their time of storm, in my opinion. So Marie Monroe laying up there on the sofa, and her and Essie is talking, and she was like, how I'm gonna tell this baby his mama not coming back and things like that. And that's really hard because at two, how do you explain that to a 2-year-old in order for them to understand and grasp, that concept? I can't even imagine having to do that. And so her and Essie are talking, and Essie is saying, what she's telling Essie, as far as my business, I'm straight. But as far as my personal life, I'm in the red. And I'm like, girl, Marie, you in the red because you take on too much. You in the red because you take on too much. Like your mama and what she have going on, all of that is not your responsibility. You need to put your mama somewhere in a home, in a rehab, away from you. That is not something that you can do by yourself. Like even in your rehabilitation centers, baby, you have a whole staff of people. It's a whole program, not just one person doing it. You know what I'm saying? And your mom doesn't seem like she really wants to be saved or helped. That's just my personal opinion. Um, and she may want to, but it's a struggle for her. And then, until she really wants it bad enough, ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. And you bringing potentially more harm into your home, having her there, than it just being, you and um you and your children. And that's just my point, I don't know. That's just my point. That's how I feel about it. Um and your son, I understand you want him to be successful and go to work. I mean, and to be able to take care of his kids, and that's fine. Go to school. But at the end of the day, he need to come home and be helping you with them children as well. He need to be working somewhere, girl. Even if you have him working down to the clinic, answering the phone, if that's what he can do, being a janitor, working in housekeeping, washing and folding towels or something. He needs to be earning and putting out money towards taking care of his children. He needs to learn how to do that. That's not all on you, and that's not your responsibility. It's his. Grandmother's responsibilities are to help. You know what I'm saying? You are supposed to be a part of the village, not the village. But that's why you taking on everybody else's problems. Then we get to talking about, your marriage and your husband, and you sitting there talking to your soulmate. That's part of the problem. That's not the only problem. But that's part of the problem with your marriage. Like, there's no way your husband should have to say, well, let me get up because I know my place. And it's not next to my wife. It's Essie's place. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't know about nobody else. But, I mean, y'all tell me if y'all see it another way. But they're talking about that. And then she gonna buy him a Rolex, baby, because he feel like he's entitled to it, because that was part of their agreement. When they got married, she agreed to do that. And I'm like, girl, listen, but y'all not married no more. And if he's not doing what he's supposed to do as far as taking care of your child, then baby, go ahead and let it be what it's gonna be. But what I'm not about to do is pay you and buy you to take care of your child. No, Marie, I don't agree with that. I understand right now you stressed out. You just want to keep the peace. You want him to be involved, but you shouldn't have to buy or bribe a man to be in his kid life. No go, honey. I agree with Essie about that. And now we gonna move on. We see Latrice go. Oh no, who was it? Tambra and Akeisha sit down, and Akeisha sitting down. Where she was mad at me because my plate was dirty, and I'm like, Akeisha, you are so self absorbed that you are so self unaware. You are unaware of yourself and the arrogance and the nastiness that you present. You are judgmental. You study. You walked up in there with your nose turned down and tooted up at everybody. And the only reason Tambra don't feel it is because she kind of pacifies you, and you're the pretty girl, and I want to make you feel okay, and you're Miss Jackson and all of this, like you was talking about. You was trying to meet with the man, figure out how you gonna meet with the governor. Girl, shut the girl. I don't like you. You are pretentious and you are obnoxious. You are obnoxious, and you can go. You know where you can go. I don't like you. You do too much. But anyway, so they sitting there talking or whatever. And she's talking about, why was she mad at me because I said I played 30 and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, girl, all right, next scene, end scene, because I didn't need this nor did I care about this. Then she was talking about, her fertility issues, but luckily she was able to actually go ahead and conceive on her own. Now, I did feel for her when she said she had 7 pregnancies with no babies. Like, I can't imagine going through that. So part of me, I felt like that was a real moment for Akeisha, and that was the one and only moment that I liked her, period. Um, and then Tambra starts discussing her issue, and she's like, "You still with Zaman?" And she like, "Yeah, I'm still with him." And she's like, "Girl, y'all been together since high school." And she, in her confessional, she like, "We too old to be our age and still be dating and don't have no ring." And I'm like, "Listen, some people goal ain't to have the ring. Some people are fine with just being in a committed relationship, and some people feel like, you know what, things ain't been right, and we've been back and forth, and I'm not gonna take a ring or become a missus when it's already fucked up." Okay, so I wish people stop perpetuating this. Everybody needs a ring. I mean, and yes, listen, it's benefits to having a ring. It definitely is benefits, especially if something was to happen to your partner and y'all own property and land or whatever. But I mean, there is paperwork that you can get straight and get settled if you choose not to go that route. But don't try to make what works for you work for everybody else. Okay, don't try to fit a square block into a circle peg, into a circle hole. Don't work like that. But anyway, that was them. And then next thing you know, we have her Latrice. And Latrice go see her mama. And Latrice, thank you. Thank you for having your mama with some of your goddess length hair or whatever kind of hair it was she had in her hair. But I'm gonna assume that it's goddess length because that is your brand, right? But I thank you. I thank you for having your mother on TV with hair that represents your brand, and you have a hair brand. Because so many times we see these people and then their mamas just don't be looking, they just don't be looking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how you supposed to be this big celebrity and famous person and you got your mama on TV looking raggedy? So I appreciated that. And I appreciated the conversation that Latrice and her mom had. And her mom saying, you basically married your daddy. And I'm like, ooh, okay, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that her dad was with her mother is what she in turn married, as far as her husband and how he treats her and want to control her and wanting to tie her down with a baby. And I'm like, girl, you better listen to your mama because she been through it. She been through it and she lived through it. So I think you need to listen to her and take her advice. But just so much loss. Latrice, you are definitely not emotionally ready. You financially, y'all got it. Financially, you are ready to have a baby, but emotionally and mentally, you're not there. And I think you have some deep wounds and some deep trauma from a childhood and feeling abandoned that you need to work through. But I feel like until you work through that, you need to, you don't need to have a baby. And I'm wondering because we just see her tell Cliff about not having a baby, but I'm wondering if she's had this deep of a conversation with daddy yet. I don't know, I would like to see that because I need to see if he's going to be emotionally supportive to her and if he's going to be emotionally supportive and understand and help her work through those feelings, or if he's going to give some type of reassurance and what she needs to happen. And then after that we see Letitia and Akeisha go out to eat. Okay, and Akeisha of course comes with her nice nasty attitude, but we know a girl is just nasty. And so she was saying, about the plate, and Letitia was telling her basically like, girl, you walked up in there looking for a problem. And so therefore when you came with me about the plate because of the negative energy and spirit that you brought, that is why I felt the way I felt as far as you and that plate. I didn't give a damn because I felt like you was just looking for an issue. And she talked about the food was burnt, this and that. And Letitia's like, girl, you the only one who said something about the food being burnt, but let's go ahead and get to what it is. And she was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. We can disagree to agree. Because she was like, I'm sorry, but let me tell you something, Keisha, when you apologizing with a but, save the apology. That's why when she told you, okay, and it still don't negate the fact that your attitude was stank, basically. Okay, and then it went off after that conversation. They talked about Tampa and the greedy or whatever, but I mean, I don't really know what else we would say because we didn't see it. But from what we saw, she was just like, oh, okay, well, I know him. They call him Greedy, right? Well, I know him as Greedy. I met him through one of my friends. Now, Akeisha, you asked, was it male or female? So you was being just as messy trying to get the information, but you want to sit up here and put it all on Letitia because you could have just said, oh, okay. I mean, if somebody tell me they know somebody through one of their friends, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to go through is it a male, is it a female? Because, I mean, I don't care like that. But it is what it is. So it went off, and we see next week, Miss Akeisha, your husband ain't happy. He said you done kidnapped him, and this is taking longer than when it thought because he don't want to be there. Okay, Miss Jackson royalty, while you sitting up here acting like your don't stink, it seem like you got problems in your house. So I think before you try to one up everybody else, you need to take care of what's going on in your house. But I can't wait, y'all. I am so glad my sis California cutie put me on to this show because I binge watched the first season and then got it in time, finished it in time to start the second season. So yeah, I'm gonna keep up with this because I like this little show. And these little women are feisty. Come back tonight. I have our first docu series that we're doing. It's a 3-part documentary on Netflix called I Unalived, where it's called I Killed My Dad. And then I'll be discussing P Valley tonight. It's season finale. Grandmother is still here with us, so we don't have to have another fume. Once again, I thank you all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh yeah, and join the channel if you feel so inclined to do so. Also, now we have merch. So if you go by in the About tab, there is merch for you to purchase. Just click the link. You all have a great